Hey User World, I am back with another video. Today we're going to go over the hits and shits for the month of August. I really enjoy doing these videos because I know I am a handbag channel. However, I do have a lot of other items that I try on the monthly basis that I found it to be great, and I'd love to share them with you so that maybe you can discover a new item or two that you can incorporate in your life as well. So let's just get right into it. Yes, I know it's the month of August. It's, you know, that college humor meme. Winter is coming. Yes, it's the dead of summer, and yet we're going into offices or my home office where somebody else likes to keep it at 65 degrees year round. So I am wearing my Skims sweatshirt that I've been raving about, hence the attire here. But let's just go into the first item. And these are, a lot of them are going to be summer oriented just because when I'm not working at home and get to be outside and enjoying the warmth and sunshine, these are the go-to items for me. And you know I love sunscreen, so I'm gonna start with sunscreen. These are the two sunscreens that I've been using and freaking loving. This is the Make Prem Light and Refreshing Sun Essence with Full Moisturizer. I am very picky when it comes to my sunscreen. And of course, you know, being outside, regardless if it's, you know, cloudy, if it's me sitting inside, I wear sunscreen religiously. So that's why I want to cover a couple of my new favorites. The reason why I love this one so much is because it is going to be very lightweight. You can see the consistency here as you're dripping it out. It feels like a moisturizer and it kind of just dries down very nicely. I'm very picky when it comes to my sunscreen. I do tend to use chemical sunscreens more often than not, just because I am not super pale. Using anything with zinc in it or just like a mineral sunscreen, it does tend to leave a white cast on me, and I don't want to look like a sheet or a ghost, so to speak, during the summer. So that's why I tend to like the consistency and how it dries down without that white cast via chemical sunscreen. So this one I highly recommend. It does not irritate my eyes, and I'm already halfway through this bottle. The other one I really like is the Centella Madagascar Hyra Sika Water Fit Sun Serum. This one came in a 2-pack. I actually finished the first one already, and I forgot to save the container for quote unquote my empties. I threw it away, but I did purchase more of these because I loved it so much. So just be careful when it comes to purchasing. I got this in a 2-pack and it was super cheap. This one does come with the airless pump, which keeps the consistency and the integrity of your sunscreen very nicely. So you can see it's a very similar consistency to this Make Prem one, and it dries down very nicely. It doesn't irritate my eyes either. Make sure you get the Hyro Sika one because they do come out with a orange or yellow version of this. It is a mineral sunscreen. I had to toss that entire bottle out because it just left a really pasty look on my skin, as well as pilling. If it just left a white cast, then I probably would have kept it and just use it at home if I'm not planning on going anywhere. I do not like to waste any products whatsoever. But because it started pilling and then just like you rub your finger on your face and it started balling up, I was like, oh, nope, can't do this. So I threw that entire bottle away. So make sure you get the blue version where it says the Hyro Sika Water Fit Sun Serum specifically. The next product I am so excited about because, again, this feeds into my sunscreen obsession and, of course, protection. This is going to be the UV mirror. So basically what this does is a camera that you would look at yourself and apply sunscreen. I'll insert screenshots of here of me using it. But basically what it does is give you a detection and showing you if you are actually putting on enough sunscreen on your face on a daily basis or a regular basis. It looks kind of crazy, but trust me, it works because I have tested out multiple sunscreens to see the longevity of it. And of course, it really showed me that I wasn't properly applying my sunscreen. I was leaving a bunch of spots out, you know, like the crevice of my nose, underneath my eyes, above my eyes. I was missing a bunch of spots. Hence, this one actually will tell you, hey, you are missing your earlobe, you're missing, you know, whatever areas. And of course, giving you a checkup every 3-4 hours. And if you have any sunscreen left and if you need to reapply, which is so important because you can't just apply it in the morning and then call it a day. You actually have to reapply because sunscreen does wear off pretty quickly. And I also did a test. There's the Round Lab sunscreen, which I know is super popular right now amongst the skinfluencers. And then I tested it with the Centella one, the Madagascar Centella one. This actually had better staying power than the Round Lab one. The Round Lab one, I tried it, making sure I apply the proper amount. And within 3 hours, 2.5 hours, I needed to reapply because it started fading. Whereas this one stayed on for about 4 to 5 hours before I had to reapply. Isn't that interesting? If I didn't have this detection mirror, I wouldn't have known to reapply or how long and do the side-by-side comparison of each different sunscreen. So I thought this was super fantastic. It's about $50 on Amazon, a worthy investment if you are going to invest in your skincare and insurance in your own skin as you age. Let's take a break from skincare. I'll come back to it because I've got more products I want to share with you. But if you've seen me in my previous videos, I did purchase on Prime Day a scribe. This is basically an electronic book or notebook that you can take notes. Obviously, it's a Kindle as well. So if you like to read books, this is an excellent 2-in-1 combo. I don't read a whole lot of books anymore. Most of the stuff I read is online or I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos. I need to get back into reading. We'll work on that a little bit. I used to be a bookworm. I used to read a book a week back in middle, elementary, high school, but I've gotten away from that. Social media has gotten the better of me. But the reason why I'm talking about this is basically I use this as a note-taking capability. So traditionally, I would go to Marshall's or Home Goods and buy all of these pretty little notebooks where I just take notes throughout the day for my job, or if I'm taking notes for personal reasons. I've gone through so many of these booklets. I mean, they're not expensive. However, they're heavy. I travel a lot. And of course, if you're going into the office, you got to have a notebook that you bring back and forth with you and can get pretty heavy. And throughout my years of working, obviously, I've gone through a number of these, right? So I figured I wanted to invest in something that is very compact and very lightweight, more eco-friendly, technically, quote unquote, right? You're not just going through, booklets. Just to show you the basics of it, right? You have a very nice writing experience. You can just write it down, somehow adulting. You can flip pages, you can have different notebooks. You can easily erase with the back of your pen as well. So I found this to be super eco-friendly and very, very compact and useful. What's cool about this is that you can also send PDFs. Again, I was just going down a rabbit hole. You can send PDFs that you need to have signatures on. Send the PDF over to your scribe, actually sign it, and then send it back to your computer. How cool is that? Instead of having a printer printing out whatever you need to sign and then scanning it or taking a picture of it, quote unquote, turning it back into a PDF and then shoot it back over. This is actually much more convenient. And I've used it multiple times for random documents I had to handwrite or signature. So there are two major competitors that are quote unquote top of the line or the innovator in this particular space, which is Remarkable as well as Supernote. I was like, I'm not quite that artist level where I need to sketch on it. And I just want something very cost effective. This is much cheaper than if you were to purchase the Remarkable, which is upwards of like $500 or $600 with all of the gadgets. It's not like you can buy them a la carte, unfortunately. One trick I will teach you is that if you have an item that you want to trade in, maybe it's a Bluetooth speaker that you bought off of Amazon or an Echo that you don't use anymore, you can actually submit that as a trade-in. You probably will get $5 as a gift card. But what you really want is the 20% off. Anything you trade in with Amazon that is a eligible item, it's not the gift card or the trade-in value of that item that you want. It's the sometimes 25% off that you want that you can get for an Amazon scribe. And that's exactly what I did. So I purchased this for under, I think I want to say under $280, $250, something around there, as opposed to buying a Remarkable or Supernote for like $500. That's kind of crazy. So, and then of course I did buy the cover for it so that I can protect the actual device itself. Talking a little bit about the home aspect of it. You're wondering, what are you holding up? This looks like a spike, and yes, it is. It is a spike. I know we are still in the midst of doing holidays and summer vacations, and of course, holiday season is coming up. Not too, before you blink, it's going to be there. But if you ever go on vacation and you have plants, I have a lot of plants. If you have any plants, how you use this is basically stick this into your planter and make sure it's submerged in the dirt enough. And this is made out of terracotta. And you want to use this when you're going on vacation and you don't want to water your plants. You can't water your plants every 2 or 3 days. So what you do is take an empty wine bottle, fill it up with water, and stick it in here. And basically, this is a self-feeder. You can actually use it even when you're around, and then you can just refill it, even if you're just at home and not necessarily going on vacations. But I found this to be super useful. I've been using this for years and found it really effective for the plants that need to be watered on a more longer basis. Before I talk about this shit that I absolutely hated, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already for me. Love to see you back on my channel. But this Tirtir, it is a viral cushion foundation product. I, of course, was like, I must try it. It's viral. And I've used cushion compacts before with Laneige, and I found them to be great. But I don't know why I never went back to it. But now that this product has gone viral and it was everywhere, of course, I decided to spend money on it and purchase it. I freaking hate it. This thing is terrible. I think it's overhyped for what it is. It's not like super expensive, but it's also not cheap. Formulation is just terrible. I was cautious enough to use very little, like most other content creators say that if you're using this incorrectly, it's because you're using too much. I knew that, right? Going into it. So I use very little of it. And it actually goes on pretty nicely on my skin. However, it wore horribly. I used primer underneath. I used a proper moisturizer underneath. It was just terrible. It started separating and then it started sinking into all of my pores. And I think I have pretty decent skin for what I have been using and slathering on sunscreen over the decades. But this formulation, I don't know how to describe it other than it's just terrible. It does not sit well. And I've talked about other foundations that I've really like that actually settled very well. And over the hours, over the day, it didn't separate, it didn't pill, it didn't do anything. This did everything wrong that could possibly go wrong with a foundation. This is definitely a hard pass for me. Kind of jumping all over the place here, but I really want to talk about this. If you haven't heard of Folex, this is a miracle worker. Please go get yourself a bottle. I obviously bought a massive bottle and have gone through a lot of it because I basically wear my food. Any shirt, any nice blouse, any dress, I go out to eat. Well, guess what? Food's gonna end up on my shirt. This will take everything off. This is a miracle worker. You got coffee on your shirt, Folex. If you got pet stains on your couch, Folex. If you've got wine stains on your carpet, Folex. This is the answer to anything and everything. All of the other ones like Thai stick, yeah, it kind of works and it's nice to have a Thai stick on the go. It does work, but it smells terrible if you know what I'm talking about. Like the OxyCleans, all of the stain removers or the whitening agents that you find at grocery stores, do not get any of them. None of them work. And I really like to wear white a lot. So this is something I have researched, spent tons of money on all of these stain removers, or they claim they remove stains. None of them work except Folex. Okay, let's talk about the bag that I've been loving this month. This was kindly sent to me by Bob Ore. And if you haven't seen my original video from Bob Ore, go check that out. This is such a cool bag. I think this is a newer release and they call this the Flexi bag. I didn't do an unboxing for this, but I wanted to test it out, make sure I gather all of my thoughts about this bag as I did use it for the past month or so. What this bag reminds me of is the Hermes acorn bag. You've seen a couple, it's not really popular. It's not like a viral bag from Hermes or anything, but this does remind me of that particular bag, which is why I wanted it in the first place, because the Hermes acorn bag is what, $6,000, $4,000. it's a hard pill to swallow if you want to purchase that kind of style, right? So this, I thought, was the perfect alternative to that. And I think it's under $300. I'll make sure to link everything I'm talking about down below in the description box for you. So go check that out. But I freaking love this. This is such a compact, also a very functional bag. This is a shoulder bag and a crossbody bag. You can see it's kind of a hobo bag. You've got a front pocket here, which I found kind of interesting. Yes, it is that style that is very close to that Hermes acorn bag, a con bag. I'm totally butchering that. Sorry, I'm sick still, forgive me. But there is a pocket here where you can not fit a phone, which is unfortunate. I wish the pocket was deep enough to fit a phone, but you can put little items here like chapstick or maybe a wallet in here, and it's very secure so that you can zip it up, etc. And then the interior, I've got a bunch of stuff in here. It's just an open compartment, and it does have a zip pocket. It also has a smaller pocket right here where you can put, I basically have a hair tie and a chapstick as well as lipstick here. And my favorite part about this bag here is going to be the built-in magnets. So it does not have a zipper. Honestly, I actually really like that because it's so much easier to get in and out of. And of course, with this hobo lunar shape, not having a zipper to like be, basically you have to two-hand it to open and close it if you were to have a zipper. Whereas this one, you can just easily open it, pop it closed, and it's pretty secure. Like I did not have to worry about things falling out or anything, unless you like decide to turn the bag upside down, right? Talking a little bit about the straps. This is an adjustable strap. You can wear it as a shoulder bag, or you can adjust this so that it becomes a longer shoulder strap. It could hit more, I'll insert screenshots. Or you can make it to even longer and turn it into a crossbody. You see how it's completely adjustable? So I found it to be super versatile. It does come with little rings so that you can keep the strap from flying around. So I thought that this was such an innovative bag. Honestly, I was looking at the Hermes one, and I don't think the strap is adjustable or as versatile as this flexi bag from Bob Ore. I want to say out of the 3 bags that I received from Bob Ore, this is going to be my favorite one. The only feedback that I will give them, and of course so that you know, is that these buttons where you would have to punch through to adjust the length of the strap is like incredibly hard to punch through, because you can see these are holes that will stretch out eventually. So something to be aware of. To me, it's not a big problem, or it's not a, the worst thing in the world. Honestly, it's not a $6,000 bag. It's not a $5,000 bag. It's less than $300. So I'm completely okay if there is certain wear and tear that's going to happen to that. Is it going to be a forever bag? I don't think so. But if you are not familiar with this particular silhouette, it is a great price point for you to try out. It is very buttery soft. The interior is going to be linen. The hardware on this is a brushed gold, and it's very low key here. There is that logo here. So I think it's pretty low key when it comes to the actual design itself. If it were up to me, I would say the logo could be a little bit smaller. So I took this with me to blueberry picking because I wanted to be hands-free. So I turned it into a crossbody strap. I also took this to the grocery store because I was running errands, and I was like, I don't have any bags with me. Chicago charges bags, and I'm not paying 7 cents for a bag. So instead, I decided to I literally put blocks of cheese in here. I also had, I want to say, a bottle of wine in there, and then some random candy. Yes, that's my diet right now, apparently. And of course, I had my usual stuff in here, my wallet, my cell phone, my sunscreen, and it literally fits anything and everything in here without having it to be super heavy, because the straps are pretty thick. So I'm actually really enjoying this bag. I've been wearing this bag nonstop. All right, moving on to the last item here are my Birkenstocks. I've been living in my Birkenstocks for the entire summer. I have so many pairs of Birkenstocks, and I've gone through literally 10 plus pairs of Birkenstocks over the years. I would like to say that this is probably my favorite, not because of the traditional buckle style. I do like the large buckle, but really if you know Birkenstocks, they're usually felt or suede at the bottom. I think that's the right terminology. And the nastiest part about Birkenstocks is that you have toe prints at the bottom of the foot of your bed, right? So it gets kind of gross. And for these are called the oiled bottoms. So it's going to be a smoother kind of finish where it's not going to have a permanent toe print or footprint on the bottom, the foot of your bed. So I've been loving these, and I think these were a great deal. I got these from Nordstrom's. They've gotten really dirty because I was in Michigan. They got really dirty and it was completely disgusting. So I basically take a wet wipe, like a Lysol wipe, and just clean them out. And it looks way better than it did before. Now, if you had the traditional kind of footbed, it will be super disgusting and hard to clean up more than usual. And they kind of start smelling weird as well, if you know what I mean. Whereas the oiled footbed is not going to have that crazy smell from Birkenstocks. I actually had like 6 more items I wanted to go over, but I think my video is already too long, so I'm gonna stop there. I'll save the rest for my next month's video and my favorites. Do come back and check out my other videos, talk about our favorites. What's your favorite this one? Let me know. Let's share a little bit about what has worked and what hasn't worked for you. So I hope you really enjoy this. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less than retail. I'll see y'all next time.